And I mean, you know, also you as a son, that was your brother.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
I mean, you know, as a kid, you know, you don't really think about it too much. But then, you know, when you grow up, you know, it's like, you know, my brother gone, you know, and it happened. And, you know, it's, you know, messed up way. So now, you know, thinking about it, Mom accomplished so much, and
Yes.
you know, it's just a blessing.
Right on. I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree that it is a blessing, and you turn your nightmare into a mission, which I do know that you started a new foundation.
Correct. It's Courtney's Child Abuse Foundation. With that, we're trying to raise money to help parents that lost their kids due to child abuse, also kids that have been neglected, also trying to get the teenagers off the streets, start teen nights for them, just to get them off the streets and show them, you know, there is a way to life more than streets, drugs, and all of that stuff. Also to help people, younger females that have kids, for men that aren't too, I don't know what to say.
Well, you know, and wrapped up, and like I remember when I first met you, you was talking about your mission to help other mothers notice the signs of your partner, which is very important. You have to notice their behaviors, and some things we can eliminate when we know the signs. Know the signs of if they're on drugs, if they have mental health issues. It's just very important. So by you having this book, by you having this foundation, by you having this mission, you can help individuals who are in relationships and denying that they're in a relationship with a person who needs help. You know, I watch the news and you see so many people who are living a life with someone who take their own life.
All right.
You know, and you've experienced this head on. Not that it was your life, but your child lives your life, I can only imagine. So it's like taking a part of your life and going in the grave.
All right. You have to pay attention to the signs. I mean, this was a person that I laid down with, lived with, was engaged to. So, yeah, and I would have never thought in a million years that that would happen.
And it wasn't the stepfather, it was his biological child.
Correct. So, I mean, you have to pay attention to everything. Watch who you leave your kids with at all times. I mean, just pay attention to all the signs, the staying out late, not coming home at all, the alcohol, the weed smoking, all of that leads to that. You just have to pay attention. You have to pay attention and watch who you keep your kids around.
I mean, I think that is so true. And, you know, for me, I was single for so long because of me having a child. And when her father and I didn't make it, you know, I tried to get in relationships, but in the back of my mind, I always had that conscious, like, oh no, I don't know if I could have this person around my child for so long. So it was me. It looks like I was, it could have looked like as if I was unstable, but what it was me being a mother trying to protect this child. You know, and I would have thought that if I would have been in a relationship with her biological father, that she would have been safe. But for you, that wasn't even the case.
Right. If you read the book,
I have.
It breaks down everything, you know.
I have. It seems like he was a caregiver. He was at home. I mean, he was minding the child.
Correct.
And so, you know, you were out there working. You was working a lot of hours, you know. And I remember and you stated in the book, the day that this happened, that you came home.
Correct.
You was just coming in, helping out, get something to eat, and left right back out.
Correct. Went straight back to work.
Went straight back to work.
By the time I got home, I was getting a phone call saying that my baby was turning blue in the face. And I'm like, automatically I'm thinking Trayvon, because Trayvon used to get sick a lot. So I'm like, he turning blue. What you did him? What you did him? He was like, I'm shaking him. The milk coming up from out his nose. I'm like, call the ambulance. I got there before the ambulance. When I got there, my baby laying in my auntie arms just like laid out, his arms just dangling. Just like, and the hear the people say, oh, he possibly dying. You know what I'm saying? And you, all kind of stuff just going through the head. But when I got to the hospital, I tried to help him. Like, I'm like, he didn't do that. No way.
Right. I read that in the book.
Yeah, like, and then he decided to turn himself in. I still was behind him because I didn't believe it.
Because you didn't believe it.
Like, Trayvon was 3 at the time, and Trayvon would always be like, Mom, baby Courtney fell down the stairs, baby Courtney fell down the stairs. So you got to realize that's what I thought for years, and all my family members was like, well, my mama and other people was like, you stupid, this boy killed your child. But once I got all of it, gathered everything myself, went to reading them autopsy reports. Oh, God.
What was your mechanism for surviving doing this? It was hard. What was something that you find, did you work more? Did you find yourself working even more after this happened?
Yeah, I mean, I had to go to counseling for a year. I had to go to counseling for a year before I could even get my kids back. So that's how, messed up it was. And once I got them back, my oldest son, of course, his dad fought me for custody.
Okay.
And we, till this day, we still going at it. So it's just a struggle. It's hard. And that's why I talk to other parents that I'm talking to females now, actually, which, they were scared to come on the show. They didn't want to put their business out here. But I talk to females now that's going through the same thing I went through and asking me what to do. And I'm like, before you be like me and have to bury a child, you got to get out that situation.
Yes, it's very important to get out.
No matter how much you love them, your kids come first, no matter what.
That's where you have to stay in that survival mode. You have to begin to just ask yourself, why am I here? But stick around because we're going to go on a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll have more with you, Keisha, and your son, Trayvon. Thank you guys, and we'll be right back.
Slidell, Kenner, LaPlace, and surrounding areas, come be a part of the Renata Collins Love and Wisdom Show studio audience. Go to www.renatacollinstv.com.
When putting together the Mighty Men show, my major goal have always been to spotlight those who are making a difference. Men who are visionaries, leaders, and not just for themselves, but for the community. Because it's the community that is affected by the leaders' choices, the leaders' plans. So, I'm like, Renata, let's begin to cultivate power. Let's begin to cultivate love and wisdom. But where is it? Where is love? Where is wisdom? And it's in mighty men. And when I really think about it, I thought about it just being men. But then I brought it all the way back to where it's mankind. They're mighty women, they're mighty men, but just to sum it up, you just call it mighty men, and it's a force. Welcome back to the Renata Collins Love and Wisdom Show, where we are here with Trakeisha Sanders, the authors of A Mother's Cry, and her son, Trayvon Sanders. We also have joining us for the very first time, Miss Sunshine Best. And the reason why I brought Miss Sunshine on is because she says she knows all about surviving as well. Just like Miss Trakeisha, just like her son, just like I am, and also Miss Sunshine. So what we have to do is be able to, like Miss Trakeisha said earlier, understand the signs, understand what your journey is and how you can turn your nightmare into a mission. So you get a mentor, you get the book, because there's helpful information, there's a story, and maybe if there's something that you can identify with, it can help you prevent from doing the same and making the same decisions. Trayvon, I would like to ask you one more time, how is it that you're feeling now? Or is it anything that you feel that you could have done to prevent the situation?
I feel now, I just feel, my brother's gone, I had to deal with it. But as far as preventing the situation, I don't feel as I was nothing I could do.
Right on, because you were 3, right?
Yeah, I was 3, so.
Let me ask you a question. How are you surviving? What is something that you're doing now to help you deal with it? Because maybe at 3, if it wasn't such devastating, you probably wouldn't have remembered it. Yeah. But because it's something that is being relived and be relived, it's something that, you know, constantly probably reminding you.
Yeah.
So how are you dealing with the survival?
My mom, she gets me through everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so without her, there's no me.
Oh, that is just so great. I totally understand that, you know, and I really can't imagine losing a sibling because I haven't. Yeah. And I know that sometimes, you know, they get on your nerve and they just do too much sometimes. But, you know, if they're gone, it's like, you know what, I would enjoy to have that opportunity to tell him, stop, leave me alone, or to understand how his voice sounds. I remember you said that in the book. You don't know how his voice will be. You don't know how he would have grown up to be what type of person he would be now. Right. And so that's why you have this mission, I can imagine, so that be able to hear the voice of their growing child.
All right, and don't have to visit a graveyard on birthdays and days that it happened and holidays, because it's hurtful and it's painful. And that's not something you want to go through.
So how's the relationship with you two? I heard him say that, you know, you get him through a lot.
Oh, that's my baby.
And that's pretty good, because sometimes you watch movies, you see people, sometimes devastation brings people apart, or it can either bring them together. And it's pretty good, and I would just ask that you guys continue to, you know, grow. And people make mistakes, and we don't have the ability to have binoculars to see into the future. And it's great that you guys have that relationship, that you can mend and still love each other after such a devastation.
Yes.
You know? So I have Miss Sunshine here. Miss Sunshine, as you was here earlier hearing about their story, I know that you have a story of your own. Would you like to share with us?
Yeah, I'm happy to share, and thank you very much for having me and for having these guests, because I think it's extremely important to get these type of stories out, because we are not alone, and there's other people out there going through the same thing, and they're keeping it secret. And I think that's a dangerous and toxic thing to do, spiritually as well as for the community. So I think bringing people together like this and being brave enough to share your story is helping yourself as well as helping other people in the community. So I commend all of you for you having them and you guys being brave enough to talk.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell them about some of the things.
For my story, I can relate on different points because I grew up in foster care, and I did not have the mother and father situation that a lot of people grew up with. So I had moved homes a lot, and that had actually taken me through 3 countries before I turned 18. So I'm from Barbados, and I grew up in Toronto. I spent some time in New York, and from physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, torture, being put outside with no clothes, and cigarettes being put, like all sorts of horrible stories that you see in movies and read about. That happens to us and foster kids, and it's a real thing. And so I found at some point you have 2 options. You can either let it crush you.
Right.
Or you can gather yourself and the strength you can get from the situation and let it build you up. So I think that there's a certain amount of trauma that can make somebody stronger.
That is so true.
And I think that people who've gone through things have a lot more to offer in terms of strength to other people, because they can empathize, they can relate. So when someone else is going through something horrible, you can look at them and say, hey, I've been there, I understand. And so now that person doesn't feel alone.
Yes.
So.
And you know, you brought up something that you guys have so much in common with. Like she said, she's been in foster care. You've been in foster care. You've had your children to go and be in foster care. And I also remember you talked about the cigarette burns in the book. So there's some of the same thing. So we're not too much different in foster care. You know? So we all share some of the same experiences here. And it could definitely make us stronger. So it's not about what you go through and you come out of the situation. So therefore, we're here, and you see us today on the Renata Collins Love and Wisdom Show as survivors. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with you.
New Orleans, Slidell, Kenner, Laplace, and surrounding areas come to be a part of the Renata Collins Love and Wisdom Show studio audience. Go to www.renatacollinstv.com.
Did you know that each Dickey's barbecue pit is locally owned by your very own pitmaster? We smoke our meats on site every day. Hold up, I love this part. Chopped or sliced, piled high on a toasted bun, and call it done. It's not processed, it's a process, and has been since 1941.
Come to Dickey's, where we speak barbecue.
On my live studio audience, once a month I film the Renata Collins Love and Wisdom Show. It's fun, it's learning, it's laughter, it's awakening, it's love and wisdom, and it's me, your girl Renata. You'll see things that TV never sees. You'll get to meet my guests, ask questions, take pictures, and more. Go to www.renatacollinstv.com.
Welcome back to the Love and Wisdom Show, and we're in the wisdom break, as always, with me, your girl, Renata, and Pastor Tyrone Jefferson. You know I'm always happy to do this part with you, right?
Oh, I'm so honored. I'm always honored.
Thank you. So listen, earlier we were talking with Trikisha Sanders, the author of A Mother's Cry. We also had Miss Sunshine Best.